All right, everyone. Welcome to So I Did a Thing. I appreciate y'all being here. My guest tonight is absolutely amazing. We connected not too long ago. We hadn't been connected real long. We've gotten on a couple of Zoom calls. Just an immediate connection. One, we're both Christians, so that's an immediate connection. But he's just such a kind and genuine person. And he's a fellow live streamer, so there's that connection too. But he hosts like I think I counted it was 136 different shows a week or something. Like it was something astronomical. Um, and I didn't realize that he's paired too. So we're streaming on his channels too. So I'm not going to say anything more about him. I'm just going to bring out the man, the myth, the legend that is Russ Hedge.
The man, the myth, the legend. I just love. So let's do this thing, man. I love the title of your show, and I love the hip productions. I mean, and really, I am just like all about the music, and I think that my son does all the music for our shows. But you have some cool music at the beginning of that show. I'm just sitting here going, yeah,
Yeah,
great.
I like the upbeat kind of stuff, get you kind of
Oh
pumped
yeah,
up right before the show starts. So yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what you need to, especially when you're in the shape that you and I are in, Chris. We need all the help we can get.
We were talking about it backstage. Russ has had a stressful week with everything going on and a stressful day. I was sick as a dog all weekend. My throat's still a little sore. So I was like, dude, like I don't have a running show. I usually just fly by the seat of my pants, but I'm kind of spaced out tonight. So we may both just be sitting here staring at each other.
Not like, well, something tells me that you and I are not just going to be staring, even at our worst day. People are like, are they ever going to shut up? Are they just going to
Right,
keep talking all
exactly.
day long?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, still befuddled.
man. Still befuddled, but we did this thing. So
We
the
did it.
thing that we did is get here and show up, right?
Yeah,
Hashtag show up. There we are.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Let's see who
well,
else.
I see.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm feeling a little bit better. Like I said, my throat's still sore. My fever broke Saturday night, so um, yeah, it's all right. Who is this
Who is
Russ
this
Hedge
Russ
guy?
Hedge
This
guy?
this dude. This dude. That's what
Oh
we all
man.
know.
Joseph, you're so funny. Listen, you know what? Talk about an encouraging guy. He's amazing.
I don't know if I know Joseph.
Well, if you would have shown up for that show I had just scheduled on, you would have met him. Oh, you would have met online, man. Come on.
I know, man. Oh, I felt bad about that.
Oh, no, that's all good. Hey, like I said, anytime you're missing a show for church, it's all good. All good.
Yeah. And I think one of them I had to miss is when they moved me into this new position, and I don't have like there is zero flexibility to be able to like take a lunch early to hop on a live stream or take a lunch late to hop on a live stream or something like that. Um, it's
Well,
very fast paced, very rigid.
you know what I'm going to do with you next time that happens, that I want you on a certain topic in a certain show, is I'm going to do exactly what I did with one of my guests in my Russ Reels in 2 weeks. She's a doctor, but she couldn't be on the show, and it's all about holistic medicine. And I have Noopy and Alex and all these guys
Mm-hmm.
on there, and I wanted her on there. And so what I did is I said, hey, I just had this crazy idea. And she goes, great. I love crazy ideas. I said, okay, we're going to record right now. So we just did a 5-minute segment. Actually, it was like 3.5 minutes, but I said 5 minutes or less, 3-minute segment I recorded on Zoom, and I just patched it in. So now when I do the show, I just click that baby, and there she is.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought I can add her in the show after all. It's just, it's one thing that I really love. Chris, you were just doing amazing things live streaming, bringing so many amazing personalities and people in, and the ability to share these amazing people with others. And the fact that I always think the fact that they would actually take time and want to be on my show, I'm like, wow, thank you. I feel pretty honored.
I feel that way too. I
I
feel
mean, I
that way
know
with a
why.
lot of people that come on.
Yeah, I mean, I know why I'm showing up. I'm just not sure. I haven't figured out why they're showing up yet.
Exactly. Like whenever you, especially whenever you get people on, like for me, I don't know if you deal with it too, but every once in a while that old imposter syndrome or, you know, I'm not good enough kind of creeps in. And then you get people that are like straight up killing it in the live streaming game or whatever. That's my passion and that's my side hustle growing into a full-time hustle. Um, so that's kind of where my mind is always at. So when you get these people that are straight up killing it, like, you and Brian Schulman and Tim and Travis and all these and Gabe's here, all these other people, sometimes it can be a little intimidating. So whenever y'all come on my show, I'm like, you know what? It's really not. Like we're all just people live streaming. That's all we're doing.
That's
It's just
it.
live
That's
streaming,
it.
man.
One of us is in our kitchen, the other one of us is in our bathroom, one of us is in our bedroom. Well,
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
who knows where we are? But it's funny because when I started this, now it's been 2.5 years ago when I started connecting with people and podcasting, and then it turned into live streaming and all that. I mean, I'd send Nancy Barrows, who wasn't doing any of these shows with anybody at that time, a message. She would say, "Hey, I've only got pajamas on and no makeup, but if you're cool, I'll come on." And she'd just come on the show from her kitchen with her cat crawling around. And, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like all of these humble beginnings. And Brian, even though he was like Brian Schulman and Russ Johns and those kind of people were ahead of the game a little bit, but they were just also down to earth and really welcoming and helpful, as I'm sure
Yeah.
you have found out. And
Yeah,
so it made
man.
it really easy.
Yeah, definitely. I had never had a Zoom or anything with Brian. I was on your show with him. It's the only time I've ever talked to him. Super chill, super laid back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes after I connected with Russ Johns, and he was like, "Bro, we got to hop on a call." And he's the same way. He's just as
Yeah.
chill and laid back, and you would never think that these guys are big time in it in the live stream game. You know
No.
what I
Well,
mean?
and I learned from them quickly by just watching. So what I do is I am a the way I connect is I watch what's going on. This is how I connected with you, at least in my memory. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. I see you live stream and I see what you're doing. I think, hey, I like this Chris guy. I got to reach out to him, and I'll start watching what people are doing too. And I'll think, I really like that idea. I like what they're doing. A
Hmm.
lot of I've always been a real connector, but a lot of uh, things that I do now were thanks to people like Russ Johns, Brian Schulman, Tim Sohn, all these people. Now people like Tim and I text every single day. Tim Sohn and
Hmm.
I, Shri Mahabar. I don't know if you know Shri really
Oh, I know
well.
Sheree. She's
He
going to be my guest next week.
There you go. I mean, Shri and I, not only do we have a show together with Scott, the Experience Backstage every Wednesday that she's part of, but we just become really good friends and are always texting and just really became good friendships, good relationships with these people. But I would watch them and Russ Johns would be sitting there going, well, let's see. It doesn't look like LinkedIn is working today, but we're just going to take our time and we're going to figure out what's going on. And all you people on YouTube can see me. And he would just be talking through all the problems he's having and just be so chill and just be like, yeah. And I'm thinking, because I'm kind of like that. I mean, when things get really crazy, I get calmer. So I'm watching this guys. I'm thinking, wow, they're like amazing and they're not freaking out. They're having fun. They're just and everybody watching the mistakes they're making is endearing people to them. When you make
Yeah.
mistakes or when things happen, people are thinking, wow, Chris Hennessy is just like me. He's a guy like me. He makes
Yeah.
mistakes too.
Yeah. Well, like make lots of mistakes. And yeah, Jennifer LaForge lives like an hour ish, maybe an hour and a half from me. She's a hometown girl almost. Robert Berry is in the house.
Oh,
Whoops.
Rob. Hey, buddy.
There he
Rob's
is.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so many good people here. I'm telling you,
Where is he?
there
There he
is.
is.
Well, you know what
There
Rob
he
did?
is.
Rob jumped on and he was on with Charlene Brown and they were
Yeah.
doing one of their shows and he goes, "Hey, throw up your website if you want and we'll give you some advice." Man, I thought I'm jumping all over that and I put it up and he and Charlene just ripped my website apart and I go, "Come on. Come on." And they were the most honest and nice people all at the same time. And I thought everything they're saying is right. I got to make changes to this thing.
I mean, that's what you get when you have an auditor and a web developer.
That's it. But they were
That's
so awesome. They were just so awesome. They were willing to just give you honest input.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is the beauty of live streaming. Just wing it and make it happen. Definitely.
Yeah,
And that's one of the
exactly.
things I love about it. I was on a Zoom call with a guy I just connected with a couple days ago, last week sometime. We were talking about live streaming versus pre-recorded video, and I said, if I know I need to do more. I probably should do more. I don't do any pre-recorded video though, and I don't even chop up my streams and post it just because I'm still working a full-time job and doing the side thing, and so
Right.
I have to be very careful what I do with my time, otherwise I'll get burnt out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but if I do pre-recorded video, I'll do like 10 takes trying to get the thing right. To me, it's easier. I'd rather jump on a live stream. The captions are already there. My graphics are already here. All,
Yep.
all I got to do is jump on there, do a 2 or 3 minute live stream, and
Yep.
it's done. You know what I mean? And I know that there's a time and a place for everything, but I just love it because it's just so in the moment, so raw, so real. It should
Yep.
it's the relatability factor, the likability factor. You're not getting a polished person. Like I've got a croaky voice and bags under my eyes because I hadn't slept all weekend. Like this is me.
That well, you know what? I mean, I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but it looks like you always look. So I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing.
Oh, man.
Oh. Well, you know what you just said though is really so critical. And Shri is always teaching, video and going on the camera. I, from the get go, years ago, before there was any of this, well, in my world, there was any of this live streaming. I'm sure there was some. I would tell people video is an amazing thing and you got to quit being scared of it and you got to quit with 500 takes. I do a word of the day every morning on Instagram, right? And I've done it for a long time. And what it
Hmm.
is it's like a 30 to 45-second video, and I do it in one take, even if I mess up, because the only handful of times, Chris, in my entire time of doing this that I've gone and I've said, "Oh, I'm going to redo that," one take becomes about 12, and
Yeah,
I say, forget it. I'm taking the 12th take no matter what it is. So what I've done, I want to be like live streaming like this. I want to just do it and put it up there. And
yeah,
sometimes now I'll even do it live on Instagram, but usually a lot of times I just record it and put it up. It's the same thing though. I just do it and send it because I just want something kind of impromptu. I'm focusing on a word of the day and I'm not trying to be like a brainiac and like give everybody like all these years of wisdom. I'm just trying to give them my thoughts quickly
yeah,
for the day, right? And just be me.
yeah.
And so yeah, that's what I love about live streaming too, is just you just what you see is what you get, and if you screw up you get that too.
Yeah, you get that too. Another thing I love about it, and I could talk live streaming all day, every day, just because I love it so much. But it's the engagement. Like, look at all the people here that are
Oh yeah.
talking to us. They're having a party in the comments, talking to each other. Uh, so
Yep.
they may not even care that we're here or not.
Yeah.
They're
Well, and I encourage that. I encourage
I
that
do
all the time, and
too.
I know you do too,
Yes.
because that's one of the best places to connect. I mean, literally, Chris, if you're my friend, and I'm thinking Chris is the kind of guy that he hangs with the kind of people I want to hang out with, right? So I watch your show, and I'm going, okay, Bob. I'm not friends with Bob, and then I go, quick. I have a LinkedIn window open. I go, hey, Bob. Any friend of Chris's is a friend of mine. Let's connect. Boom! I send him a connection link, and
Yeah.
we connect just like that. And so I'm connecting with people, like-minded people that are connected with other people that I think are great. And I'm telling you, that is why people should definitely do that. They should definitely connect in the
Definitely. I've
yeah.
met some of the coolest people in the comments of live streams.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
wait, there's a show going on. Exactly.
Yeah. Rob, he's got the greatest sense of humor. I'm telling you. Oh
He
my
does,
goodness.
man.
Oh brother, who
Absolutely.
is Russ? Where do they go? The yeah, I just love the connection and the engagement for sure in live streaming. And
Yeah.
there's so many people that tell me, well, I don't really live stream. What I do is I podcast and I do all this work and then I put it up on, put it up instead of doing live streaming because we want a polished product. And I'm like, well, good for you. I mean, that's good. That's good for
Yeah.
you. I personally think you get more mileage out of authentic live streaming,
Yes.
even when you screw up. And because of the fact that you and I can have all of these overlays and intros and outros and all that stuff already pre-done, what it does is it makes our job a lot easier because you don't have to constantly be doing all this editing.
Right.
Um, but you talked about burnout. Man, I learned this. I was trying to scale my business. That's a big word, right? Scale my business. And I'm like going, I'm stuck. I'm already doing 500 line streams and doing coaching and doing this, and I don't have any more time. And that's when I thought I've got to get a VA, right? And so what I found was more than a VA. What I found was a teammate, a person who's amazing, and she is on there right now making it look like I'm talking to
I
everybody.
know, but I'm sitting here trying to keep up with the comments,
I
and
know.
you're on both sides, on my
I
side
know.
and your side, commenting like crazy, and you're
There you
and
go.
you're looking at the camera, and I'm like, she's working tonight. She's working
Hands
right
free,
now,
hands
hands
free.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's and what I love about that, I am more than happy to be authentic and let people know that. She knows me well enough to know the things I would say and how I would interact with
Hmm.
people, which is a real plus. And so everybody know that genuinely those are the kind of comments I'd be making anyway.
Yes.
I'm just not able because I can't go that fast. So I
Right.
just have a little help. But all the cut down video, Chris, and the repurposing video, which is fantastic, by the way. And if you don't have time for it, I completely understand that. But everybody who does live streaming needs to capitalize. Anytime you do video, anytime you take a selfie, anytime you do anything, the life lives long beyond the
Mhm.
initial purpose of it. And the kind of stuff that Ever puts out for me on the little snippets of video, we put out some amazing stuff, and I can gladly say that I take virtually no credit for that other than telling her, "Great job, that's beautiful, thank you." That's my part, and she does the rest. So, yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
I'm sending Ever a connection request right now. She's
Yeah.
that amazing.
Oh, I would, yeah. No, it's been, yeah, I thank goodness have been able to. She's been able to grow with me,
Hmm.
and that's been a good thing. She's got an outstanding family, just great family, and
And
just a
now she's
blessing.
commenting.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And you know what's great about her, Chris, too? She loves Jesus too, and
Amen.
she's got a
Come on.
great family. I know. I thought this is totally a God thing. How does
Yeah.
this all come together, right? I fell into it by accident, and God's looking at me going, "No, no, it's not an accident.
Right.
That's not an accident."
So Lisa has $1 million question that has probably been the subject of debate for eons. What software do you recommend for live streaming? You could probably ask 10 different people and get 10 different answers on this.
Yeah, well, I know the most popular are StreamYard and Restream.
Yeah.
And I'll be completely honest with you. I started with StreamYard. It was the biggest one, and it was everybody I knew was using it that I was looking up to. So it made it easy because I had a lot
Hmm.
of people giving me advice. But I know a lot of people now that I'm close with that use Restream, like you, Chris. And I love them both, really. And what I really love about Restream is it is easy to restream on your sites, which gives you a bigger footprint. So I'll be honest with you, those would be my two choices. There's other
Yeah.
stuff out there I know. Those would be my two, and it would all be based on your preferences and how much you want to allow people to stream out there because I like that feature a lot.
Yeah. I do too. I started off with StreamYard for the same reason. Everybody I knew was using StreamYard, which wasn't very many people at that time. Um, I switched to Restream for the pairs feature. That was 100% the only reason I switched because I wanted to selfishly, I wanted exposure to my guest network, but I also wanted my guests to be able to feel like they were more a part of the show. So they weren't
Yeah,
just a guest. Now, guess what? It's on all of their channels too.
right.
And for somebody that's a seasoned streamer, it's not quite as big a deal if it's streaming on my channels or not or whatever. But you get somebody that's really hadn't done much live streaming or Maybe he's only done one or two, but they've only been guests or whatever. That's a big deal to them, I would think, to feel like, oh my gosh, I can stream this on my channels too. I'm really a part of this thing.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The first time I used Restream was on Carl and Charlene's show on Real Talk, and I'm thinking this is really cool that I can stream this. And so now I've done several shows, and like tonight I'm streaming on my uh, business Facebook and on my LinkedIn,
Hmm.
as well as you streaming on your channels. And I just really, yeah, I really like that feature. That's definitely
Yeah,
a plus for me. So I'll definitely be looking into that more.
yeah. I think so, Lisa. I stream to LinkedIn and YouTube. I also stream to Twitch. I don't really have a following on Twitch. I've got one person that watches me there consistently, and I'm friends with her on LinkedIn, but she only does mobile. So, and LinkedIn mobile sucks. LinkedIn Live on mobile sucks. So, uh, she watches me on Twitch. I really just stream there because I can. I'm not on Facebook or anything. I stream to YouTube. Again, I don't promote that channel, but it's an easily accessible library of all your streams in one spot if you want to send somebody to it. Um, so yeah, I think it's a good idea to stream across multiple platforms. And if you can do it, I don't know why you wouldn't all at the same time. Like we're
Yeah,
sitting
I'm
here right now streaming to 5 different places at once,
right.
versus if we could only go live organically on LinkedIn, we wouldn't have that opportunity.
No, that's exactly the huge plus of multi-streaming. And for anybody that doesn't know this, if you get larger licenses, you can stream to, I don't know, 10 places at once. I mean, you can
Yeah, I
stream
don't remember
to a
what it
lot.
is. A
But I
lot.
mean, I don't really have the use to stream more than three. That's the reason I do YouTube, because that's where I keep my library. YouTube, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and Facebook. And even though, let's be honest, Facebook's not my favorite, but I've got a ton of followers on there, and there's a lot of activity, and so I want to make sure that I'm going everywhere where I. There's a lot of people that only do one platform, that
Hmm.
Facebook is their place, or LinkedIn is their place, or Instagram is their place. We have been, so Instagram you can't multi-stream to yet, but we have been
Right.
doing, you and I were talking about this, Chris, because of Shri, we've been doing an Instagram live that's a pre-show to Scott and the Experience Live with Russ and Scott on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. So we're up, I'm up early anyway, but we're live streaming by 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Instagram first. So, but it's fun. It's a short show, and I mean, I have sponsors for all my shows, which is nice. So, you and I talked about that. The monetization part has
Hmm.
helped me be able to do a lot. And some people think, yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, I couldn't do all the live streaming that I do, and I couldn't meet all the people I meet without that, because I have to
Hmm.
be able to pay my mortgage and pay for
Right.
food.
And
And I mean, that's just a
pay
reason.
ever from doing all the commenting on all these
Yeah,
shows.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
no, and that is worth every penny, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, but no, yeah, I mean, you got to be able to pay for things, and it's this is one thing we talked about on a show that I had a while back. People have, and I have this too, limiting beliefs about money.
Hmm.
I realized I had a really good friend and a coach of mine. One of my coaches told me, you have a limiting belief about money. And I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, yes, you do. I go, no, I don't. He goes, yes, you do. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm thinking, yes, I do. I can sell and market just anything I believe in. Like I could sell water to Eskimos, whatever, iced Eskimos, whatever they say. But
Yeah.
it gets to a certain level or a certain situation. I have trouble. I have trouble when I want to help somebody and charging them, so I just want to help them for free. I get to a certain point and I think, yeah, I don't know if it's worth more than this. So I stop.
Yeah.
And people need to realize it's okay to be in business and to make money and to do things, as long as that's not your focus. If money is not your purpose and not your focus for what you do, and you have an actual reason why you do things,
Hmm.
then I think, I mean, God knows we need money, right? I
Yeah.
mean, and so that's just to me anyway. I just say that because I think there's a lot of people that have that limiting belief, that have that. idea that, that's a problem. And yes, I still love to bless people and help people and not charge them. But in order to do that, I have to charge other people so that I can do it for people for free. So
Right.
I don't know if I should have said that. Did I say that live?
You did
Uh,
say that line.
yeah.
And dude, like I've said this before a bunch of times, and I've said it live and at one time, and after that I was like, well, I'll just whatever. But I do, like, I'll get on calls with people all the time. I just get so excited that somebody wants to start live streaming. I'll get on a call with them, and I won't do the full shebang, but I'll give them a 30-minute crash course on how to go live. Like my training course is like four sessions, top to bottom. But if they're just like, Chris, I just, can I pick your brain? And I'm a sucker for saying yes, but I just want to help people. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I will do that. I will definitely give people the basics and help them. There's so much to it and there's so much more depth that
Yes.
if people really want that. So, like, for example, there's people that I have that are clients now that I helped get started and I coached them and I told them, but then I said, but this is a lot for you. And if you want, I will actually produce it for you and you can learn along the way. But that way you can do it without having to worry about it. And I have live streams I'm producing that's what I did because that was able to help them. But at the same time, they wanted more help, right?
Yeah.
And so many people helped me, Chris, when I got started. The Brian Schulmans, the
Yeah.
Russ Johns, the Tim Sohn, Jim Fuse, all those guys, Alan Hennessy in Dublin, Ireland, all these guys helped me. So I want to be able to help others a little bit. But at the end of the day, we still have to realize if we're like you have another job, I don't. This is my job.
Right. Well,
So
hopefully one day I won't have the other job. I'll just be
well,
toiling.
yeah. Well, and that's why when I really abruptly because of COVID stopped my one job and had my business going, started full time in my business, I realized everything I do, I need to make some money off of for the most part at some point, right? I can help people, but I've got to start making money. And I did get to the point with some of my clients. Honestly, I just said, you know, like if it's you, Chris, I'm like, hey man, love you, man. I want to help you. I will be here to help you. I will pray for you, but I've got to start charging you for this service because I've got to be able to make enough money or I won't be here to help you. I just
Right.
literally can't do it. And everybody I told that was like, yeah, sure, dude, no problem. And we just figure out what, works and go from there.
Yeah.
I see we have
I agree.
Kenny and Gabe and Mark
Kenny.
Lee. Mark Lee was saying, hey, I haven't seen Mark for a while. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I am, like, the comments are coming in quick. I'm having a hard time keeping up with them.
Noopy. Woohoo. Noopy, you
Noopy is
should be in
here. Yep.
bed. I
That's what she
told her.
said.
So
She
it
said
is
it's like 1 o'clock where she's at, one
it
thirty or something.
1:30, 1:30 right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
1:25. That was a few minutes ago. Yep.
she comes on my show, my 4 o'clock show a lot, and it's midnight to 1 for her. I told her, her husband
Yeah,
Al
I
is
was
such a
on
great
there with
guy.
her. Yeah.
And I told her, I said, Al is not going to like me anymore, and your kids aren't either if you're always up all night on my shows. They're going to be like, honey, go to bed. Go to
and I,
bed.
and like it's really cool the way you do your shows. I've never done, except when I first started and was just kind of getting the feel of it, and I wanted a lot of people on, to kind of take up the dead space because I didn't know what I was doing, and I knew that I didn't know what I was doing. You do a great job though at having multiple guests on and fielding that, because that could get hectic having 4, 5, or 6 people on a live stream.
Yeah. Oh, it could. You're right. And you know what I love? I learned from trial and error because back at the beginning, Chris, just like we talked about, I had no idea what I was doing, zero. But I'm one of
Yeah.
those kind that I'm going to launch into it and figure it out as I go, right? And
Yeah.
so the first time I had two guests on, I had a husband and wife from Australia who are super good friends of mine now. But they came on and they made the comment to me. It was a little confusing. They didn't know who was supposed to answer between the two of them when I interviewed them. So what that did in my brain, it triggered ding, 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 ding. I've got to make sure that people know that I'm actually calling on them to speak especially when I have multiple people. So I have
Hmm.
become a really good facilitator, which I used to be in meetings anyway, in live person. I thought
Hmm.
I just got to run this like I would run a meeting and facilitate. And then if you just happen to jump in or somebody else jumps in with a comment, great, let that happen. But otherwise, I do kind of a round robin thing and I'll
Yep.
switch it up a little bit, but I'll make sure that everybody is involved, that
Yep.
everybody's being called on. And I just try to make it as smooth as I can. If you call out like you were on, and I'll say,
Yeah.
Chris, I
Yeah.
was thinking about this. And then you'll say, yeah, Russ, I was thinking about that too. And then you talk to somebody else and you mention their name and then they jump in. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
It is fun. Yeah, it is fun. And yours, I've been on two of yours now. They were the only two that I've ever been a part of that had that many guests, and it was a blast because you get, I mean, for one, the green room beforehand is a party with all those people, um,
Yeah,
but two, you kind of get, I mean, it's just fun to be on there with that many people.
it is. Well, and what I love most about that, Chris, is a lot of the people, as you know, are meeting each other for the first time.
Yeah,
And
I swear I
so,
met Brian and Noopy was on there.
uh-huh.
There was a few other ones too I met for the very first time.
Yeah, and you know what I love about that, because people have done this for me too. I am a super connector, but sometimes you can't connect to somebody unless you know somebody they're connected with, because some people are very leery. So
Hmm.
when I'm able to, I mean, some people might say, and I do this too, they might say, wow, Brian Schulman is huge. Why would he even talk to me? But then, since I've got to know him so well and we've developed such a great friendship, I reach out to him. He's like, dude, sure, I'm on, no problem. And not
Yeah.
because I'm great, it's just because we're friends, right? This is
Right.
why my marketing secret for everybody, are you ready? I'm going to give you one of my deep, dark secrets that I coach people on. Here it is. Here we go. Pay attention.
All right.
Friends help friends.
Yep.
That's exactly. I build friends, connections, and community because when I need something, they're happy to help. When they
Yes.
need something, I'm happy to help. And that
Yes.
is how you build a good business too, because of community, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love that. So I just love, that people jump on and you're like, hey, Brian, how's it going? Dude, I've never met you and whatever. And I just love that.
Yeah. Because, and like I said, I'd have been intimidated any other time to reach out to him. Um, and I'd actually sent him a connection request and nothing ever happened with it. So, my kind of have a rule of thumb after a week or two, I withdraw a connection request if it hadn't been answered. But he accepted it after I was on the show with him.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
because he
mean,
didn't know who you are and he's getting
exactly.
thousands
Thousands of them. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and the other day I developed a friendship with a gentleman who, amazing guy. And he was a friend of one of my friends in Dublin, Ireland. So my friend Jason over there, he connect. You got to talk to this guy. We connect. So the very first meeting, he is such a great guy. We're having a great talk, and I've had him on a couple live streams, and he says to me, "Yeah, Russ. I mean, it was a busy week last week." I said, "Man, I feel you. I had a busy week too. What were you up to last week?" He goes, "Well, early in the week, I was in with the CEO and the founders of Microsoft, and then I was talking to Steve Jobs and Apple, and he's naming all this stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just sitting there talking about imposter syndrome. My jaw's
Right.
hitting the floor, and I'm thinking, and you're talking to me, and like, but we have like this level playing ground now where people like to come into this medium, and there's people that are way beyond you, but they love the connection and the communication. And if you're connected through the right people, it's amazing. We had Scott and I on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott because of Raquel Boris, who I'd become really good friends with over the years.
Hmm.
She knew Justin Guarini, who was the runner up on American Idol the
Hmm.
first season, right? They were friends. So Justin was on our show because we knew Raquel, and he was the greatest guy ever. But it was just a matter of who you know, and
Yeah.
then they're just willing to connect. Otherwise, they're getting thousands of things, and they
Right.
just can't answer them all.
Right. Inger showed up.
Hey, Inger.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Adam Fitz showed up too.
Oh, hey, Denrich is on here. Man, that is an amazing guy. So, Denrich, thank you. Right back at you. Talk about amazing. Yeah, he's another guy that is doing some incredible things that I was thinking, man, it's amazing. I want to be you when I grow up. There we go. Oh.
Oh man. Yeah,
And
you
Joseph,
are.
I think he has got, I think I have a lot of energy until I talk to Joseph. And then
So you
there's
have
the
a lot of
Rev,
energy.
Carl Sean Watkins.
Carl
Woo!
Sean Watkins. Yeah, he was one of my favorite. I say that about a lot of people. It's hard for me to pin down a favorite. Um,
I'm your favorite, Chris. I know.
yeah,
I'm
Russ,
really your
you're my
favorite.
favorite.
It's okay. I
You're
knew
my
that. At least
favorite
for
guest. You're my
tonight.
favorite guest today. Yes. You're the
All
favorite, my
right.
favorite guest I've had all day. Um, that was it was a good conversation with Carl Sean Watkins.
Oh yeah. Well, he's another guy that's basically on speed dial. He is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
He's always available. He's always there to pray for me. He's always there, and people like Carl are people that and Noopy and just some of the people that are on here. And sorry for all of you that I'm missing because there's a bunch of
there's a
amazing
lot going
people
on. Yeah,
and I can't see all the comments,
I
but
can't either.
um, hopefully I'm responding to everybody. I really hope that's happening. but but no, I when things happen like with my mama and people are texting me and saying, "Dude, I'm praying for you. I'm here if you need anything." And I know heartfelt, even though I've never been in the same room with Carl Sean, I know heartfelt that in a heartbeat he would be there for me. In a heartbeat, he's
Yeah,
sincere in what he says, and that's what I love. I mean, the friendships and relationships that I have developed are friends for a lifetime. I told you, Chris, you're stuck with me, man. I'm a lifetime connector. We're friends
yeah,
for life, and
yeah,
that's just how I am.
yeah. I'm the same exact way. Yeah, he is everyone's favorite.
Love you too, Carl,
Yeah,
Inger, Noopy, Kenny D. Kenny D, I just love. Talk about a guy who was virtually never. I think it's one person has got him on screen, and I haven't been able to. I'm going to get you, Kenny. We're doing a show still, but he is just so well known and liked because of his enthusiastic
yes,
encouragement, and so that just goes to show, Carl. I mean, Chris, whoever you are, that's what we were saying. You could be in the comments just connecting and talking, and people can say, "Hey, I like this Kenny D guy, right? I like him because I like what he's saying."
he
Scrumdiddly,
so scrumptiously whatever it is. So listen,
whatever.
he was I had started streaming. I've been streaming for maybe a month or two, and he starts showing up in my streams. Savor the flavor, baby. Just doing his thing, cheering me on, and I'm like, yeah, cool. What's up, Kenny D? He's a live stream junkie. I love it. He's here. He's in all the comments, and I bet you it was probably 2 months, and we weren't even connected. He was just there rooting me on, and we weren't even connected. And I was like, bro, we're not connected. We got to fix that. You know,
Yeah.
you
Well,
can't be showing up like that, and then let's not be friends.
yeah. Well, and I did actually have a Zoom with him. I wasn't going to let that go because what I do, and you know this, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, in days of old, I took group networking meetings and went to coffee meetings with people that I connected with from there to get more personal and actually get to know them. Well,
Mm-hmm.
this what I do now. I go from these live streams, big online networking, whatever, and then I go to virtual coffee meetings. And so he and I did have a meeting, had a really nice talk, and what a great guy! I mean, just taking time to chat. Yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah, I've never had a Zoom with him. I've talked to him on the phone a few times. I think Gabe had got him on. I think Gabe got him on the
Gabe, I
show.
think is the only one that got
The
him on. I
only
think
one that
Gabe got
got
him
him
on.
on. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
need to dig back through, I need to go digging back through Gabe's LinkedIn, however long ago that was. It might be worth digging for
might
uh,
be.
to go find it. Russ Johns, thanks for dropping in, sir. We appreciate
Hey,
you.
Russ. Woohoo. You know what? No, really, he is way at the top of my list of people that have been amazing to me. Really,
Yeah.
I have been on the Pirate Broadcast at least a couple times, and Russ is another one that's like in a heartbeat. if he's not doing anything, he'll be on any show that I send him links
Yeah.
for. And the fact that he takes care of his mama and my whole journey with mine, we had a lot in common. And he used to live in Portland for a while. So I mean, we just have like all kinds of things in common. So he's an amazing guy.
Yeah, he is. He was another one that was like you. As soon as we connected, he was like, "We have to get on a Zoom call and talk."
Yeah.
Um, I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with him. Um, he's just a super cool dude and so genuine. Like, just
Yeah.
he really does. His mission really is, yeah, kindness is cool. Um,
And
help
smiles are
more people,
free.
help more people. Yeah, kindness are cool. Kindness is cool, and smiles are free for sure.
Yes, and I love that too. Help more people, help more people. I love that.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, really, I definitely want to be Russ Johns when I grow up, for sure. I mean, it is
right.
just
Russ John said he's never growing up though.
that's probably true. Well, I
Hey,
I thought to myself the other day, I'm thinking about the things that I'm doing and what I really love doing. And I thought, if I can continue to grow live streaming and do a little coaching, but continue to just interact with all these people and get paid for it, that's like my dream come true. It's like being in
yeah,
the
right,
NBA, right?
right.
You got to play a game your whole life and you don't have to grow up. If I can do the things that I love and not have to grow up completely, I'm all for it. Well, I had to grow up because I had kids, and they're growing up now, so I had to grow up a little bit. But
Yeah, but they're grown
uh,
up, so you can kind of revert back to childhood a little bit
there
now.
you go. Well,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, I tell them after taking care of my parents, I said, "Hang tight, your turn's coming."
Yeah. Carl, I was fixing to say the same thing. Like Russ Johns may not ever grow up, but his beard or his goatee is goals for sure. That sucker is amazing.
Yeah, you have a great one, Chris, but you got a ways to go to catch up with Russ.
I do. Yeah, I do. I've got a long way to go. I've got at least another foot or two to go and catch up to his.
He's hanging out with Rip Van Winkle, and
Yeah,
Russ
he is.
Johns. Oh. Hey, I was telling you the other day on live streaming, we're talking about joking and you got to be careful what you say.
Yeah.
And hopefully anytime I joke about things, everybody knows me well enough that I'm joking. But the other day I was talking on one of my Rush Reels live and I was talking to a couple of people that are in the manufacturing sector. I don't know if you heard this, but I was talking to one of them and is David. And I'm like, David, dude, I love your message and how you bring that apart. You could take a subject that's really boring and you can make it sound great. So I'm calling his whole industry boring. And he's like, "What?" I said, "No, dude. I mean, you do a good job. It's boring to me. I'll just be honest. It's boring, but you make it sound interesting." And so then I
Right.
had to start putting out hashtag I love manufacturing and all this other stuff. Oh
Yeah, that's again, that's part of live streaming. Like you can't go back and fix it.
no,
Like
no,
there's some of
and
those oops crap. Did I really just say that?
I
Because
know it's like,
sometimes you
oh
get caught
no.
up in the moment, and you're like, oh crap, I didn't mean. I hope nobody took that. I hope everybody knows exactly how I meant that.
Well, and the thing is too, what's wonderful is, well, first of all, Ever's quick to make fun in a good way of what I say from coming from me, but most people, I would not say that to people I didn't think could take it.
Right,
And so, yeah, I mean, and when I'm on with people like David and Gail and Inger and all those guys that are all based around that industry, they all know me well enough that, they then joke with me, and make fun of it. I think if you came right out and you said something that was like horrible to somebody on the air, that would be a little bit hard to deal with. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fun loving guy, so I think people realize that.
right. Ever's got you covered.
Oh, she does. That is for sure. Hey, listen, if my beautiful wife is not watching over me, it's good to have somebody else that's, making up for any any
Yes.
faux pas I might make online. So, yeah.
Has your wife ever been a guest on your show? Like, is she into that at all?
Uh into it, no. My wife is very shy and she's actually an introvert. So she's actually amazing. She did music ministry and traveled and she's able to sing in front of thousands of people and talk, but she doesn't love the talking part or the connection part because she gets nervous because she's an introvert, right? She's
Yeah.
shy.
Yeah.
And so, but she has come on. My whole family has been on a couple shows, maybe, I don't know, three, four shows. They come on for little guest segments when I have like my 100th show, my 200th show. I had a book, when my book released, they came on those kind of shows. And what they'll do is they'll come on and they'll say hi to everybody for just a quick segment, because they love me and they're willing to do that. Not because they want to, but they love me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
So
actually, it's crazy. I'm introverted in real life. If I go to a big gathering or go somewhere that I don't know anybody, like I'm the guy standing in the corner watching everybody most of the time.
right.
It's just not my. I get real kind of withdrawn whenever I'm in public like that. I can play in front of people, like I can play my bass in front of people. I can even speak in front of people. But you get me in a group setting, and I get a little uneasy. Which it really amazed me that I love live streaming as much as I do, because I get on with perfect strangers, like a lot of the people um, I never even have talked to before. So it's just, I don't know.
Well, I think that what's amazing is when people really want to connect and want to do things, they're willing to step outside their comfort zone, just like Inger, who hates video. And I love to kid her about that because I'm always telling everybody how much she loves video. But
She
we
hates
talk.
video, but she does so much video.
Yeah. Well, and when we first talked, she was doing none of it. And she was a guest on my show. And I said, I'm not claiming all responsibility for her going live, but I had a piece of it because I told her, you do such a great job. You have to think about doing video yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's where, she really got going on those kind of things. But, I just think, again, it boils down to the fact that we have such a great community. It makes it fun. Everybody coming together, everybody talking, and everybody supporting each other. You're in business and everybody's supporting you and helping you. And I've been able to collaborate with
Yes.
so many people
Yes.
on the things that I do. That's why I love the shows. We talk about Russ Reels Live and how many people I have on. I've had on shows from like my book release and my anniversary shows where I do kind of like either a version of Shout Out Saturday where I have people rotating through, right? Or I do a version of like a gigantic Zoom where you got 40 people on there, and hard to get around to everybody on those things, but they're
Yeah.
fun to do with a lot of people because when you're connected to a lot of people, they're willing to come on and help you out and support you. So it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yep. It is. Well, we are coming up close to an hour, which is normally where I shut off. So who do I have next week? I have Shree next week. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I've never. She did a pop up live with me a couple of weeks ago, real briefly. It was spur of the moment, um, but this will be a little more in depth than whatever we talk about. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Um,
You'll make it up. You'll figure it
yeah,
out.
we'll go. Yeah, we'll do it as we go. Um, this Wednesday at 7 Central is Ending the Stigma. I've got Jason Clevenger on. Jason works with Salvation. He works for the Salvation Army. I did not
Hmm.
know this until he reached out to me. They actually have a rehab program, like an inpatient type rehab program for guys that I had no idea. He said a lot of people don't know about it. They think of them as like the homeless shelter and, ringing the bell at Christmas and all that kind of stuff. He said, no, we've
Hmm.
actually got a rehab and it's free for the guys and for the guys and gals coming in. So he's going to come on and tell me, and Nathan, my co-host, he's going to talk to us about that and what all that entails, which I thought was super interesting and also super important. Um, that there's that kind of resource out there for people that are needing some help getting off drugs and alcohol. So
Yeah.
he'll be on for Ending the Stigma. And then after Shri, I'm taking off streaming for a month, going to just kind of chill a little bit, kind of refocus, revamp, work on some business stuff, and just kind of take a break and decompress a little bit from the rat race that's been my life these past 8 months, 7 months.
Well, let me offer something to you when after you have your break and you take a deep breath. you and I need to talk more because I would love to support you and help, any way that I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I love being able to help others out. And I know everything already, but any way that I can
No,
be a
I don't
support.
know. I love the way
Yeah, oh,
you
you
said
got
that.
that.
I
You
had
got
to. It took me a minute because you said it with such a straight face. I was like, "What is he talking about?" I don't know it.
that.
Yeah,
But
this
I
Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, Dr. Noopy and Bruce Carnahan, the guy in the blue shirt.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's coming up this Wednesday. That's gonna be a great show. I
yeah.
do you know Bruce very well?
I don't know him very well. We are connected. I don't know him very well at all.
He was on Marketing with Russ this morning at 8 a.m. And Bruce and I have become really good friends. And he got really connected to Noopy, and he was over vacation in Manchester. And so he hung out with Noopy and Al for a while. And yeah, it's so great. That's the last thing that I'll say, that, the progression of friendships and connections goes on and on. I don't know if you saw Cami Hoyza's. She's from Houston, and she's huge into Social Media Secrets is the name of her company. She does such great work. She was another person that was an early on supporter of mine, and actually, I'll say she is on the back of my book. She's one of the endorsements. We had never met in person. We've known each other for 2.5 years, and been really good friends. And she came with her family to Portland, let me know she was coming, and we hung out. And she wrote a really nice thing today on LinkedIn. She put a couple selfies she took, and just said some nice things about me and about a lot of things. But that is a blessing. The last month, I've been able to meet three people in person. Emily Harmon came to town. I met her, hung out and had lunch. She and Scott and I and Christine, and then also you may know. Oh my goodness. Okay, now it's embarrassing because I can't remember who I'm trying to say, but yeah, it'll come to me. But yeah, anyway, being able to meet people in person, then I know that live streaming, you're still meeting them in person, but
Hmm.
you're meeting them in real life, like not just virtually, which is really cool. I really, that's been a real blessing. It is, hang on a sec here, it's going to come to me. David Alto, that's who it was. I am sorry, David. It's not because we didn't have a fabulous coffee and a great conversation, just because my brain is fried this week. But David Alto, yeah, I mean, he's doing amazing things on LinkedIn, and he came by and reached out to me too. So I appreciate all you people. Anybody who comes to Portland or Salem or anywhere close to me, reach out. Same, I'll do the same when I come close to you. So ever saying I'm busted. Okay, she's laughing at me. Oh, the truth is out. Oh, oh no.
And look, if anybody that's been watching, if you're not connected with Russ, send him a connection request. You'll be glad you
Yes.
did, as you can tell.
Russhedge.com. That's everything for me. Go there, connect with me, and you can Zoom with me, set up time on my calendar. Yes, there you go. I knew that I had all that up there. I knew I typed all that in. There we
Yeah, you
go. Thank
did,
you,
didn't you?
Ever.
No hands.
That's right. I'm busy high fiving Ever as she's typing. There you
Right.
go.
I think we all need an ever.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. So I appreciate her so much. Anyway,
Yeah.
no, Chris, it has been such an honor and a privilege and just joy to
Yeah.
get to be friends with you. You're a great guy. I
Amen.
don't just say that. I mean, you're just, and I mean, it hasn't, it's just begun. But I just want to tell you how much I've enjoyed talking. We've been able to talk a few times now. You've been on a few shows. Now I've been on your show. And yeah, I mean, I look forward to sometime IRL in real life.
In
We're
real
going to
life,
run
it's
into each
going
other on
down.
purpose. That's right.
Yeah, on purpose, not on
That's
accident.
it.
Because let's face it, you're in Oregon and I'm in Texas. It's never going to happen just by
It's
accident.
not going to happen. No. Hey, if you
Yeah,
haven't connected with Cami Hoyza in Houston, you need to. I
I
connected
need
her and
to.
Shri up, and Shri has been speaking for a couple of Cami's things too. Yeah, Cami Hoyza, Huyse is how you spell her last name. Yeah. I mean, there's a
There it is.
bunch of amazing people that I've connected with, but she's just somebody you should reach out to.
Okay. I just I'll do it whenever we get done here. I just opened her profile in another tab, so I remember to do that.
Yeah, Robert Barry, Rob, you're exactly
Yeah.
right. It's nice having somebody that can read my mind. Thank you. My wife's been doing it for years. My beautiful wife knows everything that I'm going to say before it comes out of my brain. So
I love it. All right, y'all. Russ, thank you so much. This was just like a conversation with an old friend. You'd never guess we've only known each other a couple months.
yeah,
I love it.
I love it too. It's so great. Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for showing up in the comments and supporting and making this just an absolute blast. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't do it without you. So we appreciate you. And we will see y'all Wednesday.
See ya.